right now on the flip side. I've got Andrew McCourt and our special Thrive edition of the Flip Side guest, Shaun Hennessy. You don't want to miss it right now, the Flip Side. Hey everyone, welcome to the Flip Side. I'm so excited for this episode. I got Andrew McCourt here, my regular compadre, but you'll notice the background's a little different because we're at Southwest Church during Southwest Thrive. In fact, Dalton, can we get anything in the, this is our fancy, high-tech, digital, amazing improvisational studio. And we are here with one of my favorite people on the whole stinking earth. We're here with Shaun Hennessy. We're just going to do like some leader some freaky awesome friend leaders of the next 4 or 5 episodes, and we're starting with Shaun. Welcome to the Flip Side, Shaun.
Thanks, love it. So glad to be here. What a great place. What a beautiful town.
Yeah.
Incredible. I didn't know there were so many mountains out here.
Yes, it is incredible, and way, way more beautiful than Green Bay, where you're from at this time of year.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Hey, okay. Before we start fighting, Haley, get us some coffee here. We are going to plumb the depths of Shaun Hennessy and everything that's going on at Life Church in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is a lot, which is cool. But before we do that, Haley, what are we drinking here?
We have a local brew from Joshua Tree Coffee, and it's a mellow Ethiopian, and the flavor notes they gave me were light roast. So
light roast.
You'll have to fill in the flavor notes for
light roast
for our viewers.
It looks pretty dark for a
Haley,
light roast.
Did you say Joshua Tree?
Joshua Tree Coffee Co.
Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree means U2. U2 means Ireland. Ireland means St. Patrick's Day, and St. Patrick's Day means Rory McIlroy.
I love it.
Did you see how everything just
segue?
Yeah,
see that?
All things point
to Ireland.
Andrew has been in a particularly faith-filled mood since Roy won at the Players' Cup.
There is a God, everyone. Never doubt it.
Here. I was happy for Roy too. So,
cheers.
So give us just a little. We're going to get into some really great biblical content here, which is what we do on the Flip Side. But before we do that, give us a little introduction, yourself, your family, and your church.
Yeah, I am actually a Canadian citizen, born in Canada, love Canada, love all things maple, and I apologize for everything. So sorry if this content isn't what you want it to be. But moved to Green Bay 6 years ago, love it. It is such an amazing town. The people are incredible. And left a multi-site church to come and take over a church that was dying in Green Bay. They were going to close it. That was the two options. Either we go and invest in it, or they were going to close it. And so it's been amazing. God has just been over the top good to us.
Wow.
And our family loves it. My kids are nuts about it. And so we've obviously become Packer fans.
Obviously.
I grew up a Raider fan, and I'm still a Raider fan because they give grace, and we get to have an AFC team. So thank God. 2 years ago, I picked the Raiders and the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and neither one of them made the playoffs. So
prophecy's not your big deal.
Not my big
deal.
So,
but part of the thing is you guys have been really effective at reaching some of the Packers and encouraging and edifying the faith of a lot of those players.
Yeah, actually, one of the reasons that I wanted to go to Green Bay was the Packers, and not because I was a fan and not because of the football side, for a couple of reasons. Because having the Packers in our community, which is small, I think, like when I moved to Wisconsin, I thought that Green Bay was the biggest city in the state, which it's not even close.
Right.
Milwaukee's over 1 million. Green Bay's about 104,000 people. But the dynamic that the Packers bring is they've created a culture of rallying around something bigger than you and something that you don't own. Like they say that we're like the owners of the team, but there's really no one who owns the team.
Right.
It's this great collaborative effort.
Which is very unique in all sports ownership. It really is this really, the community owns it.
We have a CEO, we have a board. The CEO is amazing. He's he's an attorney, but what was fascinating is he was actually a safety in the NFL. So he's got this massive intensity and loves our city. And so the first reason that we wanted it was because of the Packers having this idea where they rally around something. But the second is because I felt like God said, I want you to go to the city and be the guy that will tell them no. there's very few people in their lives that tell them no. They are surrounded by yes people. And they're such good boys. They have such amazing hearts. And so having this opportunity to even talk to them about their influence, to talk to them about their finances, to say, you don't have to invest in that. You don't have to, we don't need another barbershop or liquor store. Let's just invest in the kingdom. So it's been amazing.
That's amazing. Now, you guys have been friends for a long, in fact, I know him because I know you.
I knew him before his beard.
Hallelujah.
And look how long that beard is.
It's like 20 years ago.
He started growing that in kindergarten.
I did.
So that's how far we go back. Yeah. We met at a conference, and, we didn't meet at a conference. Our eyes met across thousands of people. And
it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
Reunited.
Oh, it was just good. He just heard my Irish dulcet tones on a stage and said, we should connect. And it was like that.
It was.
And before I knew it, he was coming with the Packers to Wembley Stadium in London. That's a soccer stadium. And then he then just said, I want to come to Belfast and hang out. And that's what we did. And we just kept in touch. And the great thing about this guy is his wife, because Sonny, too, she's a legend. And we'll probably talk more about her later.
Yeah.
Kids are wonderful. And he just kept in touch. He likes relationship. And for everyone, all our viewers out there, I cannot say how important it is in life to have quality relationships. So whether I was in Ireland or the United States, we stayed in touch. And but the other thing I really like about Shaun, he just kept a real heart for Ireland. It wasn't just, come to Ireland, Greenfield's got the photographs, country list.
Yeah.
It's like he's kept going back. I think twice a year on average since that.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to get him citizenship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that.
There's so many unique things, and we try to get right to it on the flip side. There's so many unique things about your church. As a model of leadership, it's just an amazing place. The more stories I hear, the more I tell. But the one I want to get to right away is one of the unique factors about your leadership, what you're doing is you guys have more men in your church
it's crazy.
Than women. And this is unheard of nowadays. Even churches that really focus on reaching men get to 50-50, 40-60 men to women. And you guys run like 70, almost 70% men.
It's crazy.
What in the world are you doing? And don't just tell me it's growing a beard. It's not just growing a beard.
I think if I were to put one pin in it, it would be authenticity. I think Green Bay is the first place that I've ever actually been myself.
Wow.
I've been in ministry lots of places, had a symbol of success, but didn't really have the fullness of success until I kind of stepped into my own skin. And in that, I was willing to embrace failure. To say, I will be who I am. I will be who God created me to be.
When I hear authenticity, I hear, hey, everyone, I really do love you, which is as inauthentic as possible. What did you literally do that was just, I'm this me and I don't care?
Yeah, well, I think I just am a man. I mean, as weird as that sounds, I'm just a.
That sounds weird. It doesn't sound weird. It sounds super obvious.
Manly.
We're shocked.
I hope it's obvious. Otherwise, I work at the circus with Hugh Jackman, and I'm the lady.
The greatest showman, everybody.
I'm the lady that sings. No, I am unapologetically just a guy. I like guy stuff. I like to watch people fight. I like to listen to music that's
we can take the
guy
flip
music.
side outside.
So I think in some church cultures, we've emasculated men and tried to make them fit into a feminine mold. And so
there's something about care that has a toxic side of it. You know, we want to be empathetic, we want to be loving, accepting, forgiving. But we're all talking like we're Gary Smalley on that Saturday Night Live skit.
Doggone it, people like
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Yeah. And it's repelling to guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can be caring without being soft.
Yeah.
Some of the most caring things that you can do is confront people. Confront people in their marriages. And so we've challenged our guys, like, why are you not dating your wife? But in reality, too. And I talked about this in my session yesterday, that sometimes I'll go to these marriage conferences and you'll have the guy get up there and he talks about, I've been married to Sally for 48 years and we've had a date night every Friday night for the last 48 years. And I would listen to that and go, oh gosh, I don't even love my wife. We haven't been on a date in 3 months. And so So I felt like I needed to be more intentional in that, and our guys needed to be more intentional in that. It's interesting how guys will be intentional in pursuing the things that they love,
Right.
but they'll eliminate their spouse from that because they
Right.
figure she'll always be there, right?
Right.
So I got up and I told our friends at Green Bay Life Church that I was going to date my wife this year through the alphabet. And so, we're going to do A was art class, and B is ballroom class, and C is ceramics class. And you can be manly and still,
Totally.
So we took the art class and painted the little painting, and it was, it's awesome. And so we came home and brought our pictures to our kids and didn't tell them whose was whose. And we just put them on the table and just said, whose picture's better? And I'm going, you like this one, right? This one's great. I was trying to do reverse psychology, and I was pointing to Sonny. He's like, you like this one, right? And both of them were like, oh yeah, that one's way better. And so I threw both pictures away, and then B is ballroom and C is ceramics class, and then D. My wife doesn't know this, so hopefully she doesn't see this until after the D. So I recruited my kids, and I said, here's what I need. I need for each of you to get a friend, and we're going to show up at the church, and we're going to go into the gym, and me, my daughter, and her little friend are going to go against Sonny, my son, and his friend, and we're going to play a mad dodgeball tournament. And I go, this is like,
You're so romantic.
Why can this not be a great date with your wife? And so we're encouraging our men.
Great
to
source of sermon
continue to
illustrations.
pursue-
Yeah.
Good.
continue to pursue their bride. So
But I don't get. Here's the thing. Sometimes I run across this idea of we're gonna get men and we're gonna go after men and there's trucks and cigars.
Right, yeah.
And there's a
All of which are wonderful
misogynistic
things.
flavor to it.
Yeah.
Too. The other side of it, there's a dismissing of women or of now, honey, you sit down and we're gonna tell you how marriage works. And the thing about what you're doing is so unique. It feels very empowering to both genders. It doesn't feel like that. I've got to bring so much testosterone in the room that we're going back to beaver cleaver.
yeah,
mode.
we have a mad number of women on our staff, which comes from the fact that my wife is an A+ leader.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is such a
Andrew's
strong
point.
leader
Right.
that I recognize the fact that she's a stronger natural leader than I am in certain ways. And so I actually stepped back a few months ago as the lead pastor, and she stepped forward as the lead pastor to where I'm the lead teaching pastor. But we have a number of women on our team, on our staff, who
Very
hold
good.
the mic.
Mm-hmm.
But they're strong. We've recognized their leadership.
Love it.
Our
Love
family
it.
life lady, a lady named Lori Engelbert, she is phenomenal. She could lead at any level.
Yeah.
But I think we've enabled them to do that, to say you just step forward, just do your thing. So we've got maybe half our staff are women.
So the other unique thing about your model and is the amount of businesses and I mean talk about that a little bit. You guys are some great, incredible amalgamation of marketplace influence and creativity, entrepreneurialness, and spiritual, vibrant, challenging your city to be God honoring. How does all that come about, and what are you literally doing?
Yeah, so we wanted to bring this life-giving culture to our city. And we were the first church that kind of deemed ourselves as a life-giving church. That we stole that from Chris Hodges and ARC and went through the ARC thing. And so we thought, how can we be life-giving to our community, to people who aren't coming into our walls? And so probably about 3 years ago, I was taking my MBA, and I was in this particular coffee shop in our community, and their product was phenomenal, but their treatment was so poor. Mm-hmm. And you just leave there, they would be rude, they'd be curt, they would... No offense. They would just they would just be hurry you along,
It's another usage for my name, you guys.
No,
it is an
that was God
appropriate
speaking to you.
usage for your name.
Why my production crew is finding this so funny right now? All right, so
I'm standing
on the point of rude
If the shoe
people.
fits.
So I'm standing in
All
line
right,
at this
Andrew,
coffee shop.
you take over the rest of this interview.
Right, that's
He's
okay.
out of here. I'm being treated so poorly, which was regular. And I stood in the line and I just said, I feel like our people need to be treated better than this. They deserve more than this. So I thought, if I ever had an opportunity to open a coffee shop near this place, I would. And so it couldn't have been 2 weeks. And my brother-in-law texted me, a listing for a building across the street. And so we did. We opened a coffee shop, the Exchange Coffee Shop, right across the street with this idea of how can we take the culture that we have in our church, this life-giving culture, and put it inside the marketplace. And so it has popped. It's got a great location. It's on Main Street. It's right in front of St. Norbert College, which is this great liberal arts school in Green Bay, De Pere. And it's just become a place where people come, and here's what we hear consistently. There's a feeling here. I can't put my finger on what that feeling is. And so what we didn't do is we didn't label it as a church coffee shop. We didn't want it to be like Java Gyra, your coffee provider. You know, we wanted to be
Beautiful.
A real legit.
You're on fire, McCourt.
I think the next one will be that. We should make our next blend the Hebrews.
We still haven't even gotten to a sermon series yet. Let's go, people.
So anyway, we started this idea, and people just, when they learn that it's from our church, they want to come be a part of it.
So here's the powerful leadership principle. If you are nice to people, good things happen.
Yeah. Just kind. We are kind. We actually have values that our employees carry around on key tags, and one of them is we are kind, we are giving, we are loving, we are peaceful. And so, so we're in this process of opening up other businesses. We're actually right now negotiating on a 1950s grocery store.
Wow.
So we're super excited about that.
For me, what does a 1950s grocery store look like?
If you've ever seen the show Mad Men, where you would envision, the lady comes in. Here's how somebody described it to me, and you'll get this. It's a European-style grocery, to where people don't come and pick up
organic
200.
produce,
They don't pick up $200 worth of groceries, and they come and they pick up. I need
what
this,
you're going to cook today.
A few things,
like your mother-in-law shops.
Costco, you buy six of everything.
Hallelujah! The hot dog at Costco. When I buy a house, I typically ask the realtor, "Where is the closest Costco?"
Yeah.
If it is within one exit, sold.
That's so good.
It's so dumb.
So, Shaun, the other thing, you got this. So you're doing the businesses. You planted the church. It's growing. For our viewers,
tell us your weekend attendance. I mean, this is kind of pastors don't like to talk about this.
I would say about 4,000.
Okay.
Actually, let me give you the Thrive number. About 1,000.
About 1,000. But when you took it over, it was about to close the doors, and this was just how many years ago?
6 years ago in December.
Let me just tell all my lay folks out there, this is a turnaround that can be described only as miraculous.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What are you saying, Andrew?
No. So everyone, for our viewers, there's a magazine out there. It's called Outreach Magazine, and the Times newspaper in London, they always produce once a year the rich list, and it's the richest people in the world. It's everyone waits for this. I think it's around May time. But Outreach Magazine, they do the fastest growing churches in America, the largest growing churches in America, the biggest beards in America with pastors.
The skinniest worship jeans in America.
The tightest jeans in America. But your church features in that and has featured in that in the last few years. Tell me about the blessing of that and the curses of that.
That's a great question.
Yeah, so it's been 4 years in a row. It's been amazing. The first year that we got on it, my wife, who is always looking for a connection to something, we made number 12. And she said, "Oh, it's Jesus," because Aaron Rodgers is number 12. So we were looking, for God must want us to win Aaron Rodgers to Christ, which we don't even know if he's not a Jesus guy. We just go, okay. And so it's been 4 years. And here's an interesting thing is I didn't send in our data this year. I didn't even fill out their form. And part of that was because I feel like some of those things maybe cause you to hang your hat on those things. And then you start having to get creative. Or it gets to where you go, well, we went from 480 to 1,100, from 1,100 to 2,300, from 2,300. And now, as you guys would know, with, so many people, you would look at that number now and you'd go, is it as fulfilling to move the needle from 3,000 to 4,000 or 3,000 to 3,400? And it becomes this chain if you let it, to where and I think initially I thought it would open up opportunity for me. It would give me some sort of a voice, and it didn't create that. And what that has caused me to do is internalize and go, where am I looking for my voice? Why am I not content to have a voice in my community? Why do I need to have a voice in Palm Springs or West Palm Beach or somewhere other than where I am? Because really God called me to this dirt. And if God's giving me a voice in the dirt, no one in my community's ever heard of Outreach Magazine. We're at Outreach 100 Church.
Yeah, wow.
But you have great coffee.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. And so it's been a blessing, but at the same time, it's become a little bit consuming, because, hey, the list is coming up.
Yes.
I need you to get your forms in. Did you count your people? You didn't really have that many people, did you? Did you count your leaders?
Wow.
How many kids did we have? Why do we have so few kids? And they're like, we have 700 kids. More kids than we thought we would have people in our church ever. And so, sometimes I look around and I ask Senna, I go, how many people do we have that work for us? And she'll text, I go, who are they? And what do they do? And what are their names? And go, the responsibility that's in that, I don't really have the mental space to think about what do people in Palm Springs think about me. Now, there's people dying in Green Bay that need Jesus.
We all did yesterday a leadership pre-Southwest Thrive workshop. And I went in and did mine. Andrew did his. And then we all kind of finished at the same time. And I can't tell you the amount of people that came up to me and said, wow, Shane's was so much better than yours. Sean's was so much more better than yours.
I was going to say, I should have gone to Shane's instead of mine.
Can I have some more coffee?
He's so Curt. He's so Curt about it,
We'll take that out in post-production, right?
No, we're keeping that in.
My really good friend.
my excellent really friend,
close,
Shane.
good friend. We've shared a house together those last 3 days. Shane and his wife, Cindy.
Shaun Hennessy.
Sonia. Yeah, Shane and Sonia.
And so Hillary, can I have some more coffee? Okay. Everyone came out and said, oh, man, this breakout wonder is way better than yours.
Wow.
And so give us the synopsis. Give us lay it on us. Give us the 1 minute version of what you taught yesterday here at Southwest.
I've struggled as a charismatic Christian with the idea of signs and wonders. I listened to Matt Brown's story about trying to receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit. I had the same thing. The guy came, slapped me in the head, tried to push me down. But I saw him push the 6 guys before me down, so I was ready, and I was braced. I pushed back at him. And so he pushed me again.
He
pushed me again. I didn't fall. 3 times. He must have tried it for the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. He didn't get me. He moved on to the next guy. The next guy fell down, and I felt small in that moment. I didn't feel like I was recognizing the signs and wonders the way that they were being presented. And so then I spent 3 hours in a car with Bob Goff, and I felt the power of the Holy Spirit come over my life. And him and I had this interesting conversation about what really are signs and wonders. That every day God gives us a sign that makes us say, I wonder. I wonder this or I wonder that. And so I began to pursue those signs and wonders and began to come up with these little quirky things, these little ideas. And so we're writing this book called I Wonder, and it is spiritual musings without spiritual coordinates. And so here's just one, because I know we're short on time. But when I was a little boy, I used to pick yellow dandelions. We had them all over our yard. And I'd pick these yellow dandelions, and I'd bring them in, and I'd hand them to my mom. They were like a bouquet of flowers, and they're free. And my life was a little bit devastated one day when I looked in the trash bin and I saw a bundle of my yellow flowers that I'd given to my mom. And I came to my mom and I said, why did you put my flowers in the trash can? She said, baby, those aren't flowers, those are weeds. When you're 6, they're not weeds, they're flowers. And I thought, you have to be careful with the truth that you contain, because not everybody is mature enough to recognize what it is that you know. She could have probably told me in a different way, but that wasn't what my wonder was. When I was a little boy, I used to take these yellow dandelions, and I used to put them underneath my chin. It wouldn't work now, but I used to put them underneath my chin. And if you put a yellow dandelion underneath your chin and you get it close enough, it'll make the whole bottom of your chin turn yellow. But to get that, you have to put your chin up. And your chin at the right angle with the right projection of the sun will create a reflection. I wonder what it is that's causing a reflection in your life. if it's not the reflection of the sun, maybe you just need to get your head up. Maybe you just need to let it get closer. So that's a spiritual kind of atmosphere that can change anyone's life. Why is your head down? You're not reflecting the right things when you walk around with your chin down. Get your chin up.
Well,
you're going to be
because
fine.
all my close teammates made fun of me.
It's because you're
for
Curt.
mispronouncing a word.
If you'd be
and
less
being rude.
If you could just be less Curt.
We used to do the same thing with Buttercups, by the way.
Buttercups.
Buttercups. And it used to be the thing, I'm going to find out if you like butter or not. And you would hold it under.
Is a buttercup a flower?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just a little
Little white,
yellow flower. And then you would put it under your chin, and it would go, and of course, everyone likes butter.
Wow. I love butter.
That's the way. Little Irishism. There you go.
Yeah, so
We'll do it later. We'll go outside and
I
find
just
a buttercup.
have this
We'll go
list
walking.
of things in this book that are just these
Good.
I wonders. And so in the session I talked about.
Wow.
Andrew, I've been asking too many questions. You know this guy better. What should we ask him here?
I mean, basically, as we close, it is, what's the one thing? You've come all the way here to Thrive Southwest. You are a quality guy. You got a great wife. Marriage is going well. Kids are going well. What's the one thing that you would just say to our viewers today? Hey, you know what? Focus on this.
Yeah, what I've gathered here in my time at Thrive, particularly being around the Bayside team, is camaraderie. It's been overwhelming to me to see guys who are A players. I mean A players, who are humble enough, and not a false humility, who are humble enough
This
to
is
say,
finally feeling a little better.
I want to be a part of something bigger.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I've probably seen a good handful of guys who could easily lead churches our size or bigger, who have said, let me take the gifts that God's given me and let me share them. And so what that's made me want to do, it's made me want to be a part of that. Wow. It's made me want to become a part of that community, that camaraderie. And so there's somebody who's watching this podcast who they feel alone. And if you feel alone, I'm reading this weird book called The Lonely Man of Faith right now. This guy's, it's old. It's super old. It's out of print. But this guy's this idea that God has created us to be lonely so we'll be dependent upon him. And I read that and I go, I don't believe that. I don't think God has created us to be lonely. I think God's created us to be connected.
Yep.
And I have lacked that until this week. Sometimes you get to a certain place where you think if I'll get big enough, if I'll get on a list, if I'll get recognition, then I'll feel like I'm part of something bigger, and it just alienated me more. And so coming here and being a part of this group, and so maybe it's too late for you to come to Thrive now, but it's not too late for you to come to Thrive at Bayside at the Granite Hills campus. And I'm telling you, Granite Bay campus. And
thank you, Shaun, for that plug.
Yeah, it is literally the most practical kind of environment. To be able to say, hey, I'm a guy, I got a church of 300 people, but I can get to hang around Curt or Andrew or Ray or Matt Brown or hopefully Bob Goff. So, yeah.
Well, we really have enjoyed that camaraderie with you.
Thanks.
I mean, Shaun, honestly, it's just one of these things you immediately sense what a great leader you are, and then just what a great friend you are. And I will say, the Bible clearly says it is not good for man to be alone.
For sure.
The more we have that sort of link arms and setting down of the ego and the lifting up of the glory of God, like I always say, there's only one celebrity in this thing. His name is Jesus. So thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. You guys get online. Yeah. Check out Life Church, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Everything they're doing is phenomenal. And by the way, keep tuning in and sharing and following, especially these next 4 or 5 episodes, because we're pulling leaders right out of Thrive. We're going to sit them down here at our impromptu little studio. Andrew McCourt's going to say something really profound. They're going to say something really profound, and then my team's going to make fun of me. And it'll be awesome to watch. So definitely tune in and like, follow, share, subscribe, tattoo the flip side on your left bicep, and we'll see you next episode.